Hey all, and welcome to another episode on the Shadowtopia server. I'm your host, Chaos. We are on episode number 8. And today we are going to be building our first minigame. I know that I should be working on my base, but I'm procrastinating and just can't really think of anything to build. So I decided to come over here to the gaming district, which is kind of been self-entitled to be behind the shopping district. We need to make a portal even. We need to actually design a layout for the boundaries and everything, but we'll work on that later. Squashy Squid has decided to do 2 mini games. He's done a underground parkour session, which is really hard. The fact it was so hard that the reward for being the first one to complete it was 64 diamonds, which that went to Huffleduck, of course. And I completed about half of it, but I did have a bit of help from Squid, so at one point I'm going to hopefully try and redo it. Maybe I'll do it as a later episode. And then we also have a raceway, which he asked to have someone race him, and I beat him. He was beating me for a little bit, but I came back and won in the end. So I decided over here to make my mini game, which as we can see here, we've got some intricate redstone. For those of you who have seen Hermitcraft, the Season 5 game where it was using coarse fruit and you had to collect the different dye and strings to get score, that's what I'm going to be making. And I've been working on the redstone for a little while and I think I've got it. So basically it's got, and let's go down there and I will show you what I mean. I had to dig a bit of an extra hole so I could actually have the room to do this. So we'll actually go on this side. I love scaffolding. So the object of it is we have this clock here. So when the game starts, obviously the lever is going to be up there. We click on the lever and we'll set the settings for the clock. The clock will go and hit this dropper, and each time it will drop a different item from one of these 9, which is going to be for the different dyes. So blue, green, orange, yellow. And then we have 2 for string, 2 for coarse fruit, and 1 for ender pearls. So each time it's going to I'm going to have each item filled up, and it's going to shoot out randomly, go into the item sorter. This was actually designed by Mumbo, an earlier design. But I've modified it a little bit so that anytime an item, so say for a piece of green dye comes through, goes into the green dye, it will actually hit that dropper, dispense it into the hopper, and then bring it up. So it's going to be a slow wait. And basically the object, you'll start off with a handful of coarse fruit to begin with. And the coarse fruit, because when you eat it, it will teleport you for a short distance. You basically have to use ender pearls and coarse fruit to travel through the tower, collecting your color dye, collecting string to make wool. And the first one to collect 5 wins. And yeah, I'm gonna set up some traps as well within it, and it's gonna be entirely made out of glass in the 4 colors. So that's probably the next part that I'm gonna be doing. But for now, I started on this and just wanted to show you a little bit what I've done here. Well, I came over here to White Todd's base just to double check on the sheep factory that she has going, and it's looking wonderful. Like, she changed up the base a little bit, and she told me to come take a look, so I did. But the cool thing is, she is right now AFK for the night, and I know that she's going to be gone for a few hours. Where is she? There she is. I kind of moved her over a bit. Now, she did leave her inventory, which, big no-no. Good thing that we know who has the Stick of Destiny. And I've decided to pull a little prank on her. Now, I wanted to do something clever and unique, and obviously the easiest thing to do would be filling up the base with chickens. However, that's not going to be the case because that would be too easy, and I've done it before, and it's been done quite a bit on the server. So I've kind of cleared the area a little bit around this base, because I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to build up a wall around the base, and I'm going to flood it. That's right. I am going to put the entire building underwater. Now, as a disclaimer, and I will do this before I even start and say it on camera so that way when she's watching it, when you guys are watching it, I will help clean it up. I will help clear all the water away when she sees it. And I will definitely do that because leaving her to just do it would be no fun, and that's not half the fun. So the fun would be I would be flooding the area, and then I'll help clean it up and get her reaction. So let's begin. Well, I hope you enjoyed that third-person time-lapse of our daring prank that we decided to do. I had Wokachu and Gracie, a new member of the server, help out. And White Top, you're going to love this. So record before you move. I had to make sure I say it twice. So that way she can see it. Then we got a sign over here. Looks like your house went into the ground. And we can see that it's just covered in water. Then if we go down here, love what you've done with the place. And then we go, and there we go. It's mostly sourced water. So that's going to be quite a cleanup. I'm willing to do it because, you know, I did the prank. And then when she comes up here, don't worry, I will help you clean it up. So that way she knows it was me. She knows that I will help clean it up. And man, what a job this was. This is one of, I guess this would be the first prank that we've done on the server, minus chickens. I don't really count that as a prank. This is an actual prank. So I can't wait to see her reaction. Well, I am back at White Todd's base. Because she thought the prank was amazing. Yes, that's right. She said it was a great prank. And I'm here to help clean it up.
On the house in water, I thought you just literally just went like, oh, look, and did that. You
Like,
know,
splash,
put it on the top like that.
No, I went all out.
Yeah.
If you're gonna prank someone, you gotta prank them right.
Exactly. Doodle the master of pranks.
I don't know about that.
Well, we got all that cleaned up. Had a lovely little chat. Doodle and Huffleduck even came by, and Huffle said I was mean for doing what I did, but it was all for fun. White Top liked it, so that's all that matters. So we're back here at our minigame here, and I've just put in the redstone, and oh no, Gracie just got slain by a zombie. That's not good. I hope she's okay. Hey, Wandering Traveler, how's it going? So, I've put in the redstone here, so we have the 5 different lights on all the way through. We also have the security, or the system that I have it set, so basically, we'll have it that every time something drops, it goes through and lights it up. I'm also having a setup like this, so it will only be, only be able to drop in the correct amount. Or, sorry, not the correct amount, the exact color. So, green here, you'll only be able to drop in green wool. And you can't drop in other ones to try and score yourself some extra points. So I have the locking mechanism in. I've also got the clock down below. I thought it was just a little bit too fast. I'll show you guys right here. Just let me eat. There we go. So I'll just show you down here. Come on, let's go. Alright. So we've got this down here. We'll go all the way over here. So I've made the clock a little bit longer. And I also have it set that it will, I turn it on to let the clock go. And that's kind of how the game's going to start. I've also made a little... I'll show you guys in a sec. But, yeah, so I made the clock. It's about 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, an item will go through. And we'll go into the different ones. And we'll send it straight up to the top. And up here, we've got the more in-depth where we have it set that this will lock in place. We have it so that... So right now, we have it that it will go through. And I'll probably have to set somewhere... so every time an item will go through, it will automatically go through. We'll turn this off, and it will turn everything else off, and we'll have the system go and lock the items in place and do the count. And we also have the hoppers that when the system is done, it will cleanse it out. So at the end of the game, you just flick on the switch, and then before you start the game, you flick it back on. So that's what we have now. So I think what's the next part is getting the hoppers to be locked in place with the specific colors, and then we'll fill in the floor, and then we'll start on the tower. Well, I just happened to look at the video, and I thought Impulse did this little game, but it was actually Tango Tech, and well, he did the redstone extremely different, and it's almost better than what I had, where it shoots one item up, because the original plan was that it was going to shoot one item up to the very top and drop down. So you had to find a way to the top and then find the way down, which that might have been a little bit of tedious. So I kind of like what he did, where you stuff the droppers with full of stuff, and then each item goes randomly up. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is stuff everything into all these different chests. So it's not going to be completely randomized, or it's not going to be, because he had it just course fruit or ender pearls, whereas I'm going to have it basically everything. And the way he had it is that if you go to the corner, you can pick it up. So that's probably what I'm going to do the same, to keep in design with my shape that I've done. So that way, so the item comes up basically here, and if you just come to a corner, you can pick it up. Now, that being said, that redstone contraption that I've made, where am I going? Okay, this way. The redstone contraption that I made is not really used anymore, which means I have to tear it all down because I don't need it. But it also means that it gives me more room to move this around and actually lower it a little bit. And that way I can, instead of having it right here, I can lower it a couple blocks. Which means I need to redo the entire redstone. I wish I found it beforehand, before I started, but oh well. So let's yeah, let's begin with tearing down this redstone and redoing it. Well, I've torn down this part and put a little roof, made it a bit better. So what I've done is basically have this as a starter. So I have to find some way to make it a top. You flip the switch and the game will begin. This takes about like 30 seconds, so at least people have plenty of time. And then it will go into a rotation. I've timed it so I didn't want things going too fast. Like I said, I don't want to copy everything about the game. I want to do my own rendition of it. So for the redstone, because I had the 4, if I did it where it was basically just a loop-de-loop, it would shoot every second, and then it would take about 10 seconds to do the whole circuit. So I've extended it out a little, so that way I can have, it will do 1 every 2 seconds. So click, 1 second, 2 second, click, and so on forth. And then it will wait about 10 seconds before it does it again. So that will float down all the way up to the top. I've done the same thing. So if you stand by the corner, you'll be able to pick it up. And that's for every single item. So it's going to be the string, the 4 different dies, the chorus fruit, and as well as the ender pearls. So you never know what you'll get on whatever side. And then here's what I've done. I've finished 1 complete, and I've also put in the wool. I had to do a bit of testing when it came to lava. Oh look, some of the stuff came into the top. I had to do testing with the lava itself, because what I wanted to do is have it so it would you could things fall from the ceiling for lava. I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't destroy the wool. It doesn't destroy wool, but the lava destroys carpet. So let's go back down here. So we have the redstone here, and I have it set that, I mean, I have it right now that it's got 18 and then a certain item. So I'll probably put in some dirt or whatever, something that you can't get. And then we'll have the specific colors. It will also have one there, so I'll make sure that that's in beforehand. And then it does a long trek down. It senses it and then unlocks, locks up. So we'll do that. Unlocks, and then locks up each time, and first one to 5. Now, I tried to get it so that you wouldn't be able to place any other ones in by accident, and so I have it set for stone. So if I do smooth stone through, it gives it a little bit because it has to go through, which is kind of nice. So there we go. So that is equals 1. Now if I were to throw in redstone is there. So if I were to throw in the chest, now it does go in. However, if we click on it, you can see that it's there, whereas the smooth stone disappears. So it's kind of interesting. And there we go, second score. So I have it set where if you accidentally do it, you can go in and retrieve it. However, that takes a couple of seconds, which might be plenty of time for the lava to come smooshing down on you. And it's also a good strategy where because you don't just want to collect your own, you want to collect others, so you can prevent them from scoring. So a good idea, if I'm orange and I see I've picked up a few blues, kind of sporadically place the blue in there. Just kind of, so it's a kind of a cool idea, even though you go to a different color, check to see if there's something in there. So, well, we have one done. So all the redstone is complete. I also decided to make a little bit of a flooring, so that way it will be easier to place all the redstone. So I'm going to go ahead and place the other 4. And there we have it. I've built up the 4 quadrants of the redstone, so it's all set in place. I just need to get the item filters in, and it will all be good. I also went ahead and built the entire building up to the very top. So it's got 5 levels. I've got the one in for the trap. I'm going to place it on I think I'll place it on the first level, the third level, and first level and the 4th level. Yeah, so I'm not going to have it on every single one, so it'll be kind of sporadic and not every. So yeah, I'll figure out of having it sporadic, and I'll also have it where it will hit from the side, so you can hit it and then it will attack the other side. So every single level, I think, will have the ability to get into lava, but I've made it big enough so that way, because I've even tested it, the lava, this is dead center. It's a 9x9, and it only goes out to about maybe here or so, and so you're still stuck in the corner. However, if you get stuck in a corner with lava, you can't really move, and it really helps when you can't score. So, now my next plan is if we go to the top here and reach into the top, we have the wool, so that way it's covered, so when you're on the inside you can't see any of the redstone, because even though it's made out of glass, some of the redstone I want to be able to see and some of them I don't. This is one of them where I don't. In the corners here is where the items that didn't get picked up will come, so I'm going to find a way to get them to either, I'll probably put in a little sphere around here where it will only go either this way or this way, or sorry, if it's in here, it will either go this way or, get rid of that, or this way, and I'll have it to go into hoppers, or into droppers here, and then have it set that whenever it's got available, it will shoot it down, and so that way the corners, so 3 corners you have a chance of getting the item. So that's going to be the next part of the build, is to get this all complete. Alright, we have the top part of our redstone now completely filled up. So what we have here is, you can kind of see, if an item comes to the top, or doesn't get picked up, it comes all the way to the top. That's where it would appear. It's got a roof, so it either can go one way or the next way. And when it does, it just lands in there. And using the power of the redstone, compare it and send it straight down. And at the bottom, I'll have it where it will catch. It will go back into the system and constantly repeat itself. So the fact is that if it starts in yellow, it will, well, stay in yellow, but it could be on either side. So it will constantly be switching between either side. A part of me wants to actually rotate it a little bit. So if it starts in the orange and it comes out the orange, it would land in the blue. Yeah, so the items can just constantly rotate. That actually might be a smart idea. Alright, well, I think we'll give that a try. And now that the top is done, we have the score done. Now we just need to finish up the randomizer. And there we go. So what I've done here is I've put in a chest that goes to either this one or this one. And we've got a long hopper line that so say for the green, it lands this way. We'll now have a chance to go back into the green, or we'll go back into the orange, or actually we'll go into the orange. And look who joined us. Urgar, who has been away for months, has now come back on. So we're just going to say, hi, Urgar. And he came on yesterday, and he was very happy on what he was all seeing. And I told him about this game, and he actually came up with the name, and it's going to be called Threads of Fate, which I kind of like, because you have to basically get wool, and most of it involves string. So he came up with it. It's brilliant. So that's what we're going to call the game. We're going to call it Threads of Fate. Sorry for that distraction. But, so yeah. So if orange here, if it lands here, it has a chance to go back into the orange, or it will go or it will go into blue and make the thing. So eventually an item could go all the way around if it just times it right. And these chests, I can either stock everything up here or stock everything down there. My main goal is I want things to have this chest full for each time. So it will have it completely random. So probably to start off with, I will do 2 stacks of, or I'll figure something out where I stock the items. And have it so at least it's somewhat equally distributed. Yeah, we'll figure that out for the distribution part of things. Well, that's it for the redstone part of the build. Now all that's left is to put in all the traps. But unfortunately, that is going to be it for today's episode. This was a bit of a longer one. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that way you can get notified on future episodes. And by doing that, you'll have to hit the lovely little bell. This server is hosted by MC Pro Hosting, and if you or any of your friends want to host a server, consider using MC Pro Hosting. Get 15% off any plans by using the code word Townsies. That's TOWNIES. Link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching. I am Chaos, signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode.